Today, we're going to be talking about firearms training paradigm shift that we've been experiencing the last few years. Um, there's always been occasionally paradigm shifts and realization that training needs to change. Sometimes it's just to correct errors, sometimes it's to bring them just to be noticed. But sometimes events bring it about and make it apparent. We had ammo shortage in 2010, pandemic of 2019, ammo shortage during the pandemic. Sometimes it was out of necessity. The typical firearms training was sometimes 1 to 2 days and sometimes much longer, and it took quite a bit of ammo. Um, this brought about the necessity of different types of training with the shortage of ammo. Um, for me, my need to change was because of a detached retina and 5 eye surgeries and looking for some way to get my eyes corrected totally. Led me to people like Auctioner. And then later on, USCCA had a change in leadership in their training program. They had Rob Chadwick from who was director of training for the FBI at Quantico, and he is in the process of taking our trainings farther than ever before. Um, when I first became an instructor about 5 years ago, defensive pistol class, there was no other option. It was an all-day class. You had 300 rounds of ammo. But in the pandemic, we realized that's just not going to work. We had a lot of people leave the instructor program, um, but it came to realization that we needed to do something. So what we did was we came up with the concept of mini classes, which means it's just shorter classes, and made them just shorter and break them up in segments. And um, and then another thing, because of all this that was going on, people started studying, and not just firearms instructors, but like scientists, and they were already doing it, but the necessity brought in the concept of learning and shortening and how we were doing training incorrectly. And very often, well, we found out that people were very often overtraining and training wrongly as opposed to not training enough. The brain is the greatest computer ever known. You got your short-term memory, your long-term memory, procedural memory, and began to find out that the brain needs to rest. Very often, when you go to these big, long training sessions, your short-term memory is like the RAM on your computer. And if it gets too full, it will kick out what they think is not necessary. So not only if you get in 2 days of training, you not only are you're just basically skipping and forgetting what happened on the first day. Um, so what the scientists have found out, along with the help of firearms instructors, that shorten rather than learning a complete skill all at once, a training skill set, whatever you want to call them, drill. Um, Compartmentalize each little thing, each little skill, and then learn them all at once. And then when you need it, then you just take this piece and put it to this piece and put it to this piece. Um, I want to show you some pictures. Um, of what the brain looked like in the old style training. Okay. And um, I'll put them in here. You get, rather than learning the whole drill all at once, and then another drill, and then another drill in like a 2 day period, it becomes jumbled up. Okay. Um, and what was a good technique for drawing your weapon in one skill set became poorly done in another one because it was just all being shoved together. Um, so where are we going? We're going to be going to shorter training, shorter training periods. We've been kind of do that. You think about that video that I did a few months ago when I taught your complete technique of moving off the X and and shooting, and I recorded the video backwards. Okay, so make your brain learn the way it needs to learn. Okay, all right. Thank you.